So what do you think happens when you drop some brand new tech into a kindergarten class, but you tell the teachers they have to pretend they're totally clueless about how it works? Well, the answer is pretty surprising, and it might just flip everything you think you know about learning on its head.
All right, so let's set the scene. We're in a kindergarten in Japan. The kids are about to get this amazing new learning tool. But here's the thing, it's not from some big tech company, and it's not from the school board. Nope, this thing comes from way, way farther away.
So one day, boom! This little guy just pops up on all the computer screens in the classroom. His name is Pipi, and let me tell you, his backstory is something else.
Yeah, you heard that right. The story these 5-year-olds got was just genius. They were told that an alien, this Pipi character, had come all the way from space and he wanted to play with them. And how? By sending them this special software. I mean, you can imagine, the kids were all in. Instantly.
Okay, so the stage is set, right? You've got these super excited kids, you've got a friendly alien from outer space. What could go wrong? Well, this is where the whole experiment takes a really strange turn.
So the computers get loaded up with Pipi's software, and it's just packed with all these mysteries and surprises. The kids, of course, can't wait to dive in. But, eventually they hit a snag, they get stuck. So they do what any kid would do. They turn to their teachers for help. And that's when they find out something kind of shocking.
The teachers basically just shrugged and said, "We have no idea. Pipi sent this all the way from space. We don't know how any of this works." Just imagine that for a second. The one person you always count on for answers, your teacher, is suddenly, and here's the key, intentionally, of no help at all.
And that right there is the big question at the heart of this whole thing, isn't it? It just feels so wrong. It's totally counterintuitive. You might even think it's a little cruel. I mean, why would you take away their safety net like that? What on earth could the goal possibly be?
Well, it turns out this was no accident. It wasn't a mistake at all. That whole clueless teacher thing, it was actually a central piece of a really profound educational idea. So, what was the big idea behind this whole Pipi's adventure? Well, it all boils down to the difference between two words that sound super similar, but mean very different things.
Educate and educe. Seriously, the entire experiment, the whole philosophy, it all hinges on understanding the difference between these two.
Okay, so educate. That's what we all think of when we think of school, right? It's the classic model. You have an expert, the teacher, and they basically pour knowledge into the student's head like filling up an empty cup. It's an outside-in kind of deal.
But educe, now that's totally different. It means to draw out, to develop a potential that's already there inside of someone. Think of it less like filling a cup and more like planting a seed and creating the right environment for it to grow. It's an inside-out process. It works on the belief that the potential is already there, just waiting for the right moment to pop out.
And that's the whole key to understanding this. Pipi's adventure wasn't about educating at all. It was a project designed to educe. The researchers took away the traditional teacher to create this vacuum, this space, where the kids' own natural abilities, problem solving, working together, thinking logically, could finally come to the surface.
So what happened when they did this? Oh man, the results were just incredible. The kids didn't just mess around on the computers. They basically built their own little society, complete with its own culture and its own rules, right there in the classroom.
Once the adults took a step back, 3 really amazing things started to happen, totally on their own. Let's break down what they were.
Okay, first thing, collaboration just went through the roof. It wasn't like, oh, I found a secret, I'm keeping it to myself. No way. The second a kid found something cool, they'd yell, "Hey, I found something amazing," and boom, the whole class would rush over to see what was up. That new knowledge just spread like wildfire.
Second, and this is just wild, they created their own rules. Think about it. You have a bunch of 5-year-olds and not enough computers to go around. That's a recipe for disaster, right? Total chaos. But instead, the kids started making up their own rules for sharing. They'd negotiate turn-taking, like, okay, you go, then I go, let's count to 10. And if a rule wasn't fair, they'd change it. And remember, no adult was telling them to do any of this.
And this last one, this is just brilliant. The third thing that popped up was maybe the most advanced, logical reasoning. See, in this little society they created, you got social points, you became a hero by making discoveries. But here's the catch. It wasn't enough to just find something cool. The other kids would crowd around and demand to know how you did it.
To really be a hero, you had to be able to explain the cause and effect. You actually had to start using logical language like, okay, listen, if you do this, then this will happen. The social pressure of their own little group was literally teaching them the basics of scientific thinking. It's incredible. So you might be thinking, okay, so it was the computers and the clueless teacher. That's the secret sauce. Well, not quite. There was one more really brilliant piece to this whole puzzle.
Here's the real secret ingredient. That software Pipi sent, it wasn't just a bunch of random games. It was what they called an integrated curriculum. The stuff they did on the computer was directly linked to their real-life play. So for example, a game might be about making dumplings, which connected right back to the mud dumplings they were already making out in the schoolyard.
And that just brings it all home, doesn't it? The big takeaway here is that the computer wasn't the magic thing. It was just a tool. The real magic was the world that was designed around them. This carefully built environment that took away the teacher, gave them a mystery they couldn't resist, and tied their digital world to their physical one, all designed to educe, to draw out that amazing potential they had inside them all along. So it leaves us with this really powerful question to think about. Instead of always trying to teach people things, to pour knowledge in, what if we focus more on designing worlds? How can we build environments, in our schools, at our jobs, even in our own homes, that don't just hand out answers, but actually create the perfect conditions for people to discover things for themselves?